Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the 6-game NBA main slate on Tuesday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. I'm now making videos for NBA Top Shot as well. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also up on Apple Podcasts. I have a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that at patreon.com, an esports package, which includes Call of Duty and CSGO, as well as an NBA package. And then finally, I want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring the show. If this is your first time watching these videos and you're not familiar with Prize Picks, the idea is you are taking over/under on fantasy points. So they already have 8 players up for tomorrow. They also have second half contests. They have fourth quarter contests. They have esports. They have college basketball. They have everything. So if you guys want to sign up, you need to go DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You will get a 100% match up to $100. You put $100 in, you get $200 to play with. And finally, I guess before we jump into the video, I want to thank you guys for the continued support on the DFS videos, live streams, the Top Shot videos. They're greatly, greatly appreciated. If you do enjoy this content, if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you know when I go live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow before lock to go over everything and answer all you guys' questions. And let's aim for 150 likes on this video. All right, but now let's jump into it. So before I talk about players and their prices for the 6-game slate, Gotta review Monday. So Monday, right? Nothing weird happened. Nothing tilting, right? Just a normal slate. So all day long, got John Wall locked in my lineup. Good matchup. I think he's gonna go under-owned in this slate. Get this news. Another minutes limit. So, played yesterday, was on a minutes limit, played 35 minutes. From what I heard, that was just a special, occasion, and it wasn't going to happen again today. Plus, back-to-back, John Wall's been resting a lot of back-to-back. So, I get this news. I think I make the smart decision. Pivot off him, right? There's a lot of other good plays in the slate. Make the safe pivot. I don't want like 28 minutes out of John Wall, even though he could get it done that time. But no, make the pivot. I'm paced for 36 minutes tonight. 36 minutes. But he's on a minutes limit. He's on a minutes limit, guys. And what's he doing in that time? Of course, he's crushing. Triple-double probably. Going to get over 50 fantasy points. Why not, right? Why not? So, I asked this on Twitter. What happens when he's not on a minutes limit? Is he playing the whole game? He must, because I don't know what minutes limit he's on right now. Steven Silas. Very much added to the list. Now, no, he's not in Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr in that realm, right? But he is 100% added to the list with back-to-back games of saying Wall is on a minutes limit and then playing him literally normal minutes. All right, let's go over my lineup. First, I want to go over my late lineup because it's actually looking like it might cash. I was very tilted. First of all, obviously the John Wall thing. Second, we get news that Jason Tatum is ruled out after I play Anthony Edwards, which we'll get to in a sec. But once we got that news and I was locked in with Anthony Edwards, I already knew I lost because with Tatum out, Brown, Smart, they were just close to must plays. You had to play one of those Boston guys. And I just knew once we got the news it was over for me because I was already locked in a couple spots and I was just like, well, my night's over. I'm going to the main slate, or I'm going to the late slate. So I made this lineup for the late slate. Basically just did a Boston and Pacers Bucks stack. So I used Teague, Marcus Smart, and Jaylen Brown. And then ran it back with a stack of the Pacers and the Bucks. Sure enough, Bucks, without Giannis Antetokounmpo, they blow out the Pacers. So that was fun. Portis, Drew, Middleton, all still crushed in a blowout. Sabonis, obviously, again, lost about 5-6 minutes there. McConnell as well. And then there's the starting lineups. Like, I mean, what was this slate? What on earth was this slate tonight, right? We get the Bucks starting lineup. I see, oh, Portis in there. That's what we expected. Then about 10 minutes before lock, no. They're making the change. Throw Pat Connaughton in there. And the Pacers, okay. Malcolm Brogdon ruled out. So, last time Brogdon gets ruled out, TJ McConnell starts, plays 46 minutes. And this happened a couple times where he's just played massive minutes when Malcolm Brogdon was out. So, sure enough, what do the Pacers do? They start Edmund Sumner at the point. Just like, looking at all this stuff that's going on, I'm just like, what on earth? I could not believe any, like, I couldn't believe my eyes what was going on tonight. And then again, let's go over my main slate lineup. So, main slate wasn't as good. Let's talk about Anthony Edwards, all right? So, haven't played this guy all year. Finally buy in a good matchup, right? OKC, terrible defensive team. Anthony Edwards playing close to 40 minutes a night and getting a ton of shot attempts up. Doing a better job stuff in the stat sheet. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to buy into Anthony Edwards here. Again, this is a really good game environment. So what happens? Doesn't play the fourth quarter in a close game. After playing close to 40 minutes, last 5 or 6 games. I don't know how many shot attempts he got up, but he did not shoot anywhere close to what he did the previous games. Honestly, just one of those nights, guys. I'm just like, I couldn't believe anything that was going on. I'm mind blown at some of this stuff. John Wall minutes limit, back to back, once again 35 minutes. The starting lineups with the Bucks and the Pacers. Anthony Edwards just not playing the fourth quarter and just not being aggressive at all like he has been in the previous 10 games. So that's it for the tilting. Well, that was a good 3 or 4 minutes, but this had to be up there with one of the most tilting slates of the year, 100%. 100% one of the most tilting slates of the year. But that's it, guys. All right, enough at tilting. I had to get that out, though. I had to. I just don't even know what happened tonight. I don't even know what happened tonight. Okay, so 6 games, three games out right now on the Vegas totals. Nuggets and Magic, a 216.5 over under. The Nuggets are 7.5 point favorites. Lakers, Pelicans, 222 over under. The Pelicans are 6 point favorites. And Wizards, Knicks, 225.5 over under. The Knicks are 2 point favorites. So let's start off with Denver and Orlando. And at the top, Nikola Jokic, I think, is one of the safer spendums of the slate. Should play 35 plus minutes. Again, he's got the triple-double upside. Jokic, it doesn't even matter about the matchup either. He just can get it done no matter what. So Jokic, very, very safe play at the top. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., I think are viable as well. Jamal Murray, last 4 games, 35, 39, 51, and 40 fantasy points. He should also play big minutes. He does have a somewhat low floor. We've seen it, right, a couple times. He's got a 20-point floor. So, I still would say he's more suited for GPPs. But if this game can stay close, then I think definitely Jokic plus at least one more guy can pay off their salary. The issue is this Magic team is terrible. Right, we don't... Oh, it is 7.5 points. But I would have thought it would have been Denver would have been favored by more. But okay, so yeah, Jamal Murray, I think good tournament play. Michael Porter Jr. at 6'7". Again, a little bit more up and down, but he's last 6-7 games he's been pretty consistent. Mike Malone we haven't seen it in a long time, but no Mike Malone benching. If you played Michael Porter Jr. over the years, that is a realistic possibility. So yeah, Jamal Murray, MPJ, I think both decent plays in the mid range for GPPs. Will Barton at 5'8", the prices doesn't move, and he continues to play 35 plus minutes. He continues to do, fill up the stat sheet. I do kind of like him. I think he's actually a little bit safer than MPJ and Jamal Murray because he's a little bit cheaper. As far as other players in Denver, not a ton else I like here. I think Millsap is intriguing just because the price point. I really do not like playing Paul Millsap, but he's 3.9K. The issue is his minutes, right? 25, 20, then 18, then 30. It's just he might play 15 to 20, he might play 30. If he plays 30, there's a really good chance he's going to get there. If he plays 15, he's going to probably bust. So it just depends on whether or not the minutes are there for Millsap. But again, he's at a playable price where you can take a shot. On the Orlando side, it's Nikola Vucevic at 9.7 as a contrarian play. I think he goes a little bit overlooked, but he's been great this season playing big minutes. Aaron Gordon at 6'9 should also play big minutes. He's requesting a trade, so we'll see. Does he even play in this game? Right, the trade deadline's on Thursday, so keep an eye on that, obviously. Fournier, I'd never like playing this guy, but sure, he's going to play big minutes. He's going to get shot attempts up. There's not much else I like here for Orlando. So let's move on to Washington and New York. Washington, again, I mentioned it last slate. Westbrook's just on another level right now. He is just playing out of his mind. We're getting the Westbrook of 2015, 2016 at OKC. Triple-double every single game. Massive minutes, right? He was playing, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he's playing 35 to 34, 35 minutes. Now he's playing 38 to 39 minutes. So even though New York has been solid defensively, I still have interest in Westbrook at the top. Do prefer him to Beal. Beal busted the last game. He will go low owned. I'm fine if you want to go there, for GPPs because we know the upside is there. Rui Hachimura at 6K I think is a fair play in the mid-range just because the minutes, right? 37, 38, 39, and 40 minutes. So yeah, he's viable because of the minutes alone. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Well, you saw what happened with Alex Len last game. Had a big game. So it is 100% a lock that Alex Len is going to be the chalk tomorrow. And he's going to play 5 minutes. You already know it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen and he plays 25 plus minutes, there is a really good chance he gets there because, again, Len is a pretty solid point per minute guy. 2 of the last 3 games, or the 2 games he's played over 20 minutes, 36 fantasy points, 33 fantasy points. So Len is just one of those guys that it seems like it's always just boom or bust. He either wins you a lot of money or he just completely sinks your lineup. If you want to play it a little bit safer, Robin Lopez is the direct backup, not as good of a point per minute guy, but we know he'll probably play around 20 minutes. And that's it for Washington. Let's move on to New York. Julius Randle, I really like at the top. Love the matchup here. He played 46 minutes again in overtime, so 41 regulation. He is basically playing 40 minutes a night, 40 plus. So I think Randle's really safe with some upside. Derrick Rose, let's see, might be back. Alfred Payton, there's a lot of questionable tags. Alfred Payton, questionable. Quickly, probable. If all those point guards are back, I'm probably not going to get to anyone. I mean, I guess we'll see what they do with the starting lineup. But if there's one of Rose or Alfred Payton are back, then that, kind of downgrades Alec Burks, who's also been playing a lot more minutes recently. But I think his minutes trend down a bit. RJ Barrett at 6'6", I think is a fair play because he's also playing really big minutes, but not as high of a floor as Julius Randle. That's probably it. Taj Gibson's at 3'3". He's been playing around 20-ish minutes. He played 31 the last game, but he's really just not a great point per minute guy. Let's move on to the Lakers and the Pelicans. So on the Lakers side, they did a good job pricing these guys up. Guys like Talon Horton-Tucker, Markieff Morris. So yeah, good job on Draftkings part. But let's start with the top 3 guys. So Montrezl Harrell at 6.8K should play over 30 minutes. Has played 33 and 34 in back-to-back games, and he's been really solid. Now, I don't love the price at almost 7K, but he can still get it done. Kyle Kuzma at 6.8K started, played 36 minutes. I think he might be a little bit safer than Montrez just because we've seen, Montrez, even when we expect 30-plus minutes, sometimes they'll really limit his minutes and go to low to mid-20s. So Kuzma, assuming he starts, I think his minutes are a little bit more secure with no LeBron and no Anthony Davis. And Dennis Schroeder as well, I think is a little bit safer. So going for a little bit more of the safety, it's probably Schroeder and Kuzma. If you want to risk it with Harrell, I think you can, but there's a little bit more variance with his minutes. So yeah, all 3 of the main guys for the Lakers now, with both LeBron and AD are out, Harrell, Kuzma, and Schroeder, I think are all pretty solid plays. Is there one priority play for me? No, but I'm fine getting to at least one of those guys, or maybe even 2 if you would like. Talon Horton-Tucker, you guys know I'm a huge Talon Horton-Tucker fan, THT. Priced up to 5.5, played 28 minutes the last game. I'm expecting around mid-20s minutes, which makes him a fair play. He can still pay off that salary, but again, it's not a smash play like he was the last slate. Again, Markieff Morris started, played 23 minutes, but I don't really want to pay 5.2K for him. Marcus All, keep an eye on this. He was originally supposed to be back, but then got ruled out again because of conditioning. So yeah, keep an eye on whether or not he plays. If he plays, that makes Montrez maybe a little bit riskier with his minutes. Alex Caruso at 4K, played 25 minutes off the bench. Not a great point per minute guy. Again, they raised his price. KCP, you know by now, right? The minutes will be there, but he's so reliant on the scoring that he's not going to do anything if he does not shoot the ball well. And there's no way I'm paying 4.6K for Wesley Matthews. So really, the Lakers as a team, I don't think there's any priorities here. I think there are a couple interesting plays right with the top 3 guys. I think THT is still viable, but not a smash play like he was the last slate. Let's move on to New Orleans. So New Orleans side, Zion Williamson, 8.7K, I really like here because this is not the same Lakers team, right? No LeBron, no Anthony Davis, possibly no Marc Gasol. Like Zion could be matched up against like Markieff Morris, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell. He should be able to have his way here. As long as his game stays close, he should play 35 plus minutes. So I actually do really like Zion at the top. Brandon Ingram, priced below 8K, I think is viable as well. He's flashed a little bit of upside. Zion's been more consistent, but hey, you're getting a little bit of a discount off on Ingram. So both the top 2 guys for the Pelicans are viable. I think I would prefer Zion, but yeah, don't rule out Brandon Ingram. Keep an eye on Lonzo Ball news. He is currently questionable. If he cannot play, it's going right back to NAW. I'm not thinking twice about it. Played 31 minutes, went for 32 fantasy points. Love me some NAW if he starts again with no Lonzo Ball. Josh Hart at 5'1", should play around 30 minutes. Fair play. Eric Bledsoe has just been, he has been god-awful. 31 minutes without Lonzo Ball and goes for 13 fantasy points. Now, sure, you're really buying low here. Maybe we get like a old Eric Bledsoe game, but it's not looking good. Steven Adams is at 5'2". He's played 35 minutes in back-to-back games. This Lakers team is a little bit small right now, so what I'm worried about is, do the Pelicans match them? Or do they just stick with Steven Adams out there? So I think his minutes are a little bit more risky here, going up against like a small ball Lakers team right now. And yeah, that's probably it for me on the Pelican side. So let's move on to Phoenix and Miami. Let's start with the Phoenix side and Devin Booker at 7.9K. Don't love the matchup here, but again, viable for tournaments. He's gone for 40, 50, and 45 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4 games. And what I want to mention with Devin Booker is he's doing a lot better job of stuff in the stat sheet. Early on in the season, he was super scoring dependent, but doing a better job of getting the peripherals makes him a little bit safer. Chris Paul I still think is safer because he just does more of the peripherals. Again, went for a triple-double the last game. Should play, low to mid-30s minutes. I don't love the matchup, but the price point it just seems a little bit too cheap for Chris Paul. And same with DeAndre Ayton, right? 5'9". So I mentioned this in my video last time, but he was, against Minnesota, he was 6.2K, and he was 50% owned there. He was in foul trouble the whole game and fouled out. The next game, also foul trouble the whole game and lost huge minutes. So people box score watched. They avoided him here and literally like the best spot against like Markieff Morris, Montrezl Harrell. He was 1% owned. That's what I talk about. Kind of buying low on guys and seeing is like if it's foul trouble, that's the reason he's losing minutes. Then don't be concerned, right? So that's why I got on DeAndre Ayton and I was really surprised he was 1% owned. Now this matchup against Miami is not as good, but hey, he's 5'9". He did play 32 minutes the last game, which is good to see. I do have some interest because of the price point for DeAndre Ayton. Everything else, though, I'm probably going to stay away from on the Phoenix side. Let's move on to Miami. So Jimmy Butler, again, both teams are pretty solid defensively, but Jimmy continues to play big minutes, continues to get there. I think he's a viable spend up. Bam Adebayo at 8.1K does seem a little bit underpriced. So this is a game like I kind of wish the pricing were up on these guys. I really don't want to play anyone in this game because again, 2 good defensive teams, but they do seem a little bit underpriced. And yeah, Dragic currently questionable if he misses. Tyler Hero probably plays more minutes. He played 36 minutes the last game. I think he would be viable. Kendrick Nunn thought he would play a little bit more with no Dragic, but only played 23 minutes. So that would be a little bit of a riskier play if you go to Kendrick Nunn. Again, I thought he would play more with no Dragic. If Dragic's in, I'm not going to go to anyone in the secondary plays. Moving on to Philly. So still no Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. At the top, I think are both decent plays. Like the matchup against Golden State. Both these guys should play mid-30s minutes. Ben Simmons, hasn't been amazing. He did have the 53 fantasy point game in overtime there against Milwaukee, but he's kind of been just like subpar offensively. Tobias Harris been a little bit better at 8.5K besides that last game, 61, 41, and 48 fantasy points. So, and again, Tobias Harris shot the ball really bad that last game. Honestly, Tobias probably has a little bit more upside right now than Ben Simmons. Maybe Ben Simmons is a little bit safer because of the peripheral stats. But yeah, both those 2 guys I think are decent options. Now, Dwight Howard at 6K, how many minutes are we going to get, right? Because 3 of the last 4 games, he's played 28, 30, and 32. And this game against Sacramento wasn't in foul trouble. Just randomly only played 20 minutes. So it's like, if Dwight plays over 30, I think he's a pretty fine option at this price. If he's only going to play 20 minutes, then no. So a little risky because of minutes. We don't know how many he's going to get. Shake Milton at 5'5", should play, mid to high 20s in minutes. I think he's a decent play in the mid-range. A guy who's going to have to do more offensively. No Seth Curry. Danny Green, you know my thoughts there. Korkmaz is very reliant on the scoring. Again, Tony Bradley at 4-1. It kind of seems like they're with a hot hand, right? He played 24 minutes a game that Dwight got limited a bit. So you could take a shot, but like again, the minutes are not huge on him. And that is it for Philly. Let's move on to Golden State. And oh no, guys. Oh no. You couldn't price up Wiggins. You're really going to make me consider Andrew Wiggins in this slate. Let's start with Draymond Green. So last slate I liked him a lot. Got injured, lost minutes, did come back, but again, lost about 5-6 minutes at least. I wasn't playing great, but the thing with Draymond Green is I just like that he's got the triple-double upside. And most of the time he can get close to a triple-double if he's going to play 35-plus minutes. Now, this matchup against Philly is not the best. But I still have some interest there in Draymond. I think he was a little bit overlooked in the slate. Andrew Wiggins at 6'6". Yes, he's in play. No Steph Curry. He's going to have to do a lot more offensively. Don't love the matchup, but yes, Wiggins is in play. Oubre at 6'2" just continues to play terrible. He's just playing awful right now. You can try to buy low, but I don't even know if I can do it at that price. Now, Jordan Poole just continues to play great and continues to shoot the ball lights out. 8 of 16, 10 of 15, 10 of 21. Played 38 minutes the last game and started at point guard. He actually got 5 assists, which is good to see. Assuming Jordan Poole starts at the point guard again, I do have some interest. Now, again, I will keep mentioning it. It hasn't happened yet, but what happens when there's a game where he doesn't shoot the ball well? I think he busts, but hey, he continues to shoot well. So I think he's a pretty solid play there in the mid-range if he starts the point guard position. And keep an eye on James Wiseman. Might be back. If Wiseman's back and there's no limit for him, I think he's a viable tournament play. If there's no James Wiseman, then we can look to Kevon Looney at 3-5, who has played 23 and 21 minutes in the 2 games that he has been, last 2 games that Wiseman has missed. So keep an eye on that one. But I'm probably not going to Juan Toscano Anderson if Wiseman's back, and we do have Looney back too. So he played well the last game, unless he starts. Unless maybe they start him for some reason, but if he comes off the bench, you just can't trust Steve Kerr. You just cannot trust anyone on the bench for Golden State with Steve Kerr. All right, let's move on to the final game here, Brooklyn and Portland. And you thought you were going to get a normal slate, but all right, Kevin Durant out, Kyrie Irving out, and James Harden questionable. So, if James Harden plays, I don't know how you get away from James Harden here. Great matchup, just going to do it all offensively. The only way you fade Harden if he plays, if you think this game blows out, which is a possibility, I guess. But yeah, if this game stays close, there's no way Harden doesn't not get there. Now, if James Harden is out, oh boy. Got to keep an eye on the starting lineup. But one guy that does, a couple guys that stand out. So Tyler Johnson at 3-1. He is a good offensive player. If he starts at the point guard, I think he's one of the best values. Bruce Brown at 4-2. Hasn't really been playing big minutes, but he's going to have to do a ton more offensively if James Harden's out. So those 2 guards, Tyler Johnson, Bruce Brown, are probably where I look to first, just because they don't have a lot of other guards on the team. Joe Harris is a wing. Is going to play big minutes, is reliant on the scoring. I don't know if his role necessarily changes, but I'm fine with some Joe Harris. Now, as far as the bigs go, DeAndre Jordan's been losing minutes recently to Nick Claxton, so I'm probably not going to go there. Nick Claxton himself at 3-9 continues to play well and continues to play more minutes. 23, 26. Good point per minute guy. I do like Nick Claxton. Now, keep an eye on Blake Griffin and whether or not maybe they start him, see if he's on a minutes limit. If Blake Griffin starts and is on no minutes limit, then yeah, I have interest in Blake. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of news up in the air. Guys like Jeff Green is playable, and then you have TLC shows off the bench. So really, there's just a ton of guys that would be playable here for Brooklyn if James Harden is out. If James Harden is in, then it's probably Harden for me at the top, Claxton for value, and then keep an eye on the starting lineup news. Possibly a guy maybe like Bruce Brown at his price. Maybe Blake Griffin. There's no minutes limit, so. Yeah, Brooklyn's a team we'll have to keep an eye on. Again, it is a late game, which is not great. We'll probably not get that news for a while. Let's finish up with Portland. So Portland, even though it's a great matchup, there's no priority plays here. Like Damian Lillard at 10K, I definitely think can still get it done. But with CJ back, that just takes a hit to his usage. So still like Damian Lillard for tournaments, but not really a cash game play. CJ McCollum at 7.4K. So again, that game was a blowout. He only played 24 minutes. Keep an eye on this. If there's no minutes restriction for CJ, then I actually do kind of like him there at that price. And as Cantor at 6'4", minutes have been trending in the wrong direction. I know the last game was a blowout, but still he wasn't going to play big minutes. I think more suited for GPPs because minutes more up in the air right now. Roko's the wing I think I would go to because he continues to play 35 plus minutes again, 31 in a blowout, but yeah, he'll play 35 plus. A guy can stuff the stat sheet, so I'm fine with Roko. Derek Jones Jr. for value should play 25 to 30 minutes. Not a super high usage guy, but it's in play because of the price point. And that is really it for Portland, and I think that's going to do it for the video as well. So if you haven't enjoyed the content so far, guys, I really appreciate it if you have a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you don't live. Again, I will be doing YouTube live stream tomorrow, so make sure to check it out, guys. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.